I don't want to. When they attack black people after they've been murdered, when they did absolutely nothing wrong, you're pushing us to the limit. And what do I mean by that? You're asking us to talk about history, the history of the South. This is in Georgia. What happened in Georgia? There were savages in Georgia. It was the ancestors of the white right-wingers. They were absolute savages. They murdered people, they lynched people, they raped people, they enslaved people. They took babies from their mothers and sold them as property. You want to talk about savages? Your ancestors were the biggest savages the world has ever seen. So don't you dare call a black man a savage after you murdered him. Don't you dare do that. I'm so sick of African Americans being called violent when the world's worst violence was done to them, not by them, to them, not by them. For God's sake, you want to do racist stereotypes? If it fit anywhere, and it doesn't, but if it fit anywhere, it would certainly fit white right-wingers in the South, who has hundreds of years of history of being savages. Savages. They snatched babies, and they sold them as property, and they raped their mothers. Savages. That's what they were. You want to talk about stereotypes? Screw all of you who still defend that Confederacy. That monstrosity. Anyone who defends that is a barbaric savage.
That's why they don't want to teach American history in public schools. That's why there's been a strong orchestrated effort to prevent the teaching of anything that you just mentioned right now. Because, hey, God forbid that, children learn about the real savages in the
As an American citizen, I have to say that I am ashamed. I am ashamed of what you guys are doing to these people and these children. You're locking them in cages and you're not giving them food. You're not giving them water. You're ripping them out of their mom's hands. That is not the fucking way we do it in America. In America, we care. In America, we got a heart for human beings. Not for this shit. We treat our dogs and our cats better than you guys are treating these humans. They're not criminals just because they're not from here. The real criminals are up in fucking Washington, D.C. Not these babies. These are babies. And if they've been here their whole lives and they have proven themselves to be good and worthy working citizens, why not let them stay here? Why are you deporting them back to somewhere they know nothing about? Back to bumfuck Egypt where they don't even know anything. It's not right. Everybody should be heard. Everybody should get a chance. And these babies should not be being ripped away from their parents like this. It's not fucking right.
To every American who foamed at the mouth because I dared to speak the truth, I don't owe you an apology. America has never apologized for being the global blueprint for hypocrisy. Slavery, invasions, regime changes, and mass incarcerations, and to the Afrikaners clutching their pearls. The fact that my own community is attacking me with more rage than they ever showed apartheid shows the work I'm doing matters. And I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to expose you. I will not back off, and I will not tone it down, and I will never apologize for challenging cowardice dressed in nostalgia. If that offends you, good. It means I'm aiming in the right direction.
I don't want to hear another white person say the word illegal for the rest of my goddamn life. We are living on stolen land. Our ancestors forcibly and violently seized this land from the indigenous peoples who were living here for generations before we ever showed up. We do not get to call them illegal. We don't own the fucking planet. Nobody does. We are evolved monkeys with opposable thumbs who use them to write little monkey scribbles on a slice of tree, and we call it a birth certificate with our little monkey sounds. All of it is made up. None of it is real, and it doesn't fucking matter. And it's certainly not a valid reason to rip a terrified, screaming child away from his weeping mother. And I am tired of being made to feel like I'm crazy for being angry about this. Capitalism is just narcissism as an economic system. Imperialism is just narcissism as a foreign policy. If the lion can't claim the safari for himself and call the elephant illegal, then neither the fuck can we!
This is Emmanuel. He was sentenced indefinitely as a criminal in 2019. in Sweden for having a public meltdown where Swedish police were called to help him, and they later on pressed charges, and he was sentenced indefinitely to a Swedish psychiatric prison where he's been over-medicated, he's beaten, he's belted, his rights are being violated. In this video, you see that they have drawn a clown on his face where you see. And as we come to the end of the Autism Month, I just want to remind people that as we are celebrating and embracing autism, in Sweden, Black autistic people are being stigmatized. They are being looked like they are not humans enough. Their rights are being stripped off. And this thing is being done openly, which a good example is with the case of Emmanuel, where you're seeing today how Sweden is openly beating, belting, punishing, labeling Emmanuel as a criminal for showing signs and symptoms of his autism. And the UN that is claiming to be protecting the rights of disabled people have said or done nothing about this behavior of Sweden, of intentionally and deliberately targeting Black disabled people, beating and belting and locking them up and drawing clowns on their face and stigmatizing them and labeling them as criminals for showing signs and symptoms of their autism. What is the UN doing about it? Nothing. What is Autism Speak doing about it? Nothing. And all of these organizations are Western organizations that are claiming that they are working for the interests of disabled people. Autism Speak is working for the interests of autistic people, but not saying anything about Sweden.
you.